Tony. I'm like, here to watch World Burn. Episode 36, 1987, Over the Top. That's like the most fucking vanilla film ever exists. Why'd you make this movie?
I'll tell you why they made this movie. Wait, all right, look. It's
Hang on, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me get through this shit. All right, I got a lot to unpack here. So 1987 sports drama.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. Frank Stallone. Not Frank Stallone. Sylvester Stallone. Frank's in it. In the music. So anyway, screenplay by Sterling Stilfon and Stallone. Thanks. Produced and directed by let's see here.
Golden Globus. Mannheim?
Yeah, Mannheim Golden Globus. Thank you. Original music score by Giorgio Moroder.
Yes.
Who normally does great stuff. They must have paid you some money to get duped into this piece of crap. Budget was $25 million. 12 of it
was for Stallone's paycheck.
So, of that 25 million, they got 16 of it back. So they barely made enough money to pay fucking Stallone. Everybody else got fucked, especially the studio. So this thing stars Sylvester Stallone as Lincoln Hawk, your hero. Robert Loggia, I'm guessing that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Robert Loggia.
Yeah, as Jason Cutler, the evil grandpa.
How often do you get to say that in a sentence?
It doesn't make up for this shit. Susan Blakely as Christina Hawk, the poor sick mother.
For 3 minutes.
Rick Zumwalt as Bull Hurley, the big bad in this one. Not really. The evil grandpa's the big bad, which is a mistake. Yeah. Chris McCarthy as Tom Salinger, the attorney, and then Drunk Terry Funk as Rucker, the enforcer. And I'm sorry, I forgot David Mendenhall as Mike, the son.
Yes.
Yes.
Who you also you may not recognize him. He's been in a bunch of movies.
You recognize his voice.
But you recognize his voice. He was Daniel, Spike's son from Transformers the movie.
Dad!
Daniel!
Dad, what can I do?
Knock down the acid cover!
Yeah. So when you saw him running around with Judd Nelson, who did Hot Rod, and they were having all their chit chat, that was him. So you're 1-1 in my book.
Yeah. So other than Stallone, he's probably the only guy that really did anything after this.
Robert Loggia was in everything.
Until he died.
Well, yeah.
So he's dead. Okay. But, I mean, after this. So, and then Terry Funk, too, who wrestled for years after this. Oh.
It's not just about his smell.
No. So anyways, If you like wrestling, check out his Japanese death matches with Mick Foley. Or Mankind is probably some of you guys would know him. Or Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Bang bang. Great stuff. He's like well past his prime. He's like this grizzled old man just getting his ass beat. It's hilarious.
By Mick Foley.
Yeah, by Mick Foley. Fun fact, the estate of the evil grandpa, I forgot his name.
Evil grandpa.
Yeah. Is actually the place where they shot the Beverly Hillbillies.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
It was the Clampett estate.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. So,
I guess.
So are we ready to dive into the plot and then talk about the problems with this?
Yeah, the plot.
The plot. Go ahead. So, Mike has a sick mom.
I just wanted him to know his father.
And she's in the hospital, and generally, Robert Loggia, grandpa, evil grandpa, he's the one that actually is standing in as dad, but
kind of the guardian, but not officially.
Not
legally the guardian.
Legally.
But I didn't fly all the way up here to be simply told you turned my grandson over to that worthless bastard.
Not legally, but so Lincoln Hawk shows up to his son's graduation. He misses the ceremony, by the way, which is really just bad parenting. You might want to actually show up and cheer for your kid when they're graduating. Just saying.
Or just not abandon your kid in general, which they never state why he left.
No, they left it.
He had his reasons.
Yeah.
Why'd you leave us?
Well, I had some reasons.
Yeah, great writing there, Stallone.
Anyway, he picks his son up and he's supposed to drive Mike to California where his mother is getting surgery. And along the way, we discover that Lincoln likes to hang out in truck stop restaurants and slap beefy appendages with other truckers.
He likes to arm wrestle.
Oh, is that what that was? And so they arrive in California, and Mike's mom, Lincoln's wife, has died, and there's big drama, and then there's a big fight between Lincoln Hawk and Evil Grandpa, and they're fighting for who's gonna raise Mike. And
legal custody fight, not a fist fight.
Really, there's not a winner in that one, because let's get to brass tacks. Michael's a little shit.
Grandfather always said you were a loser. Now you're trying to make me one, and I hate you for it.
Well, he had Evil Grandpa as, role model, so, like what he wanted. Plus military training on top of all that stuff.
Yeah,
so,
but...
So, I mean, he's a bit of a smart ass.
Well, all this is going on...
But at least he's applied smart ass. He always says sir and ma'am. He's got manners.
Yeah, or military discipline, anyway. But all this...
well, anyways, let's finish up the plot real quick.
Well, I was going to say, all this is told against the backdrop of Lincoln Hawk, who is not only a long-haul truck driver, but he is also an up-and-coming arm wrestler that has dreams of going to the Arm Wrestling World Championship and winning a truck and some money so he can start his own business and become an independent truck driver.
Which I thought he's already an independent truck driver anyway, because it sells
Yeah.
his truck. It's just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Which, the other thing is so... Hang on, finish the plot.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then naturally, of course, Lincoln Hawk perseveres and he wins. He goes over the top.
He goes over the top.
And then not only, and after Robert Loggia, Evil Grandpa sees that Lincoln Hawk is in fact a winner, that he just kind of nods his head and goes, I guess he's okay to raise that boy. I'm not going to interfere any longer. And then Kenny Loggins sings us out, and it's a magical place of bewilderment. And wow, did I really just watch that? And I'm glad I didn't pay money to see it.
No shit. Thank God this was free on Amazon. I would have been really pissed off I had to pay money to watch this piece of shit.
And yet, weirdly, in a survey by Rolling Stone of the favorite films that Stallone has done, Over the Top ranks number 4.
I know like Rolling Stone lost his cred a long time ago, but I didn't realize they went like fucking Rotten Tomatoes like with their ratings.
It was a reader poll.
Oh, you
this
guys
is
are
not
fucking...
Rolling Stones. This is the reader's fault. So
I'm sorry. Normally I don't hate on you people, the audience, but are you fucking retarded? Really?
We're done with the plot, right?
Yeah.
Are you clapping me in? That's the wrong grip, Mike. You got to go over it so that you can dislocate their thumb, and that's how you win.
Fair enough. I really how can you rate this number 4? I mean, don't get me wrong. Stallone films are Stallone films, and they're not...
Yes and no. No. I see. I'm not going to discount it because Rocky is a fucking masterpiece.
Absolutely.
And
the first Blood.
First Blood
was a masterpiece. Yeah. 2 rock style films right there. He's done other stuff that I enjoy. A lesser known film is Nighthawks.
Yeah.
Is a
Nighthawks is number 9 on the list. So, and Cliffhanger was number 10.
Oh my god, Cliffhanger is awful.
Yeah, Cliffhanger is awful. But the thing is, Stallone did a remake of Get Carter in the early 90s. And he kind of wanted to do an action film that was a return to more dramatic roles for him. And it was a really solid film. It just didn't track. Stallone had kind of worn his welcome out at this point. He had produced so many turds in a row that the audience was not really willing to forgive him. And when I say that, there was this one, which was a bomb.
Yes, it was.
There was Oscar, which was supposed to be a comedy, which wasn't funny. There was Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. So
Throw 'em up. Wait, no, sorry, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah, and then you also have like the missteps of Rambo 3, which was just tired at that point. Rocky 5, which was just tired at that point. And so yeah. Then Stallone kind of started to pop back up when he decided, you know what, I'm not going to do an action film. I'm going to do Copland.
Copland was a solid movie.
Yes.
Very underrated, very underappreciated.
Yes, but it wasn't a Stallone film. It was a film where Stallone didn't punch or shoot or stab his way out of his predicament. He actually acted in that one. It was a return to form for him.
And it was super realistic. I mean,
Yes.
that he gets his ass handed to him in that fucking movie.
Yes, and
it was really good.
And it's an amazingly well done film. It's underappreciated.
Wait, was number 3 Demolition Man?
I honestly don't know. I don't remember what number 3 was. I just wanted to see what number 1 was. Rocky, but
because Demolition Man was like the kind of return to form of his action thing. You know?
Yes, there's Demolition Man.
Because you had like that and
Judge Dredd.
Yeah. Oh, Judge Dredd.
So when we say that he had a bunch of really big missteps in a row, it was about 8 years worth of nothing of note on that one. But there's a lot more hubris going on in this film than just your package of Stallone. Golan Globus, who are famous for making really trashy 80s exploit films. They made all the sequels to Death Wish, which was basically just Charles Bronson shooting people, and that was a plot. They did almost every Chuck Norris film that you can think of, Invasion USA. They accidentally stumbled, I don't know how, but they made one good movie, and that was Missing in Action. And the thing that was funny was that they actually shot Missing in Action, the beginning. They shot that one first, and then they shot Missing in Action, and they realized that Missing in Action 2 was so good that they were going to release that one first. And then they released the original first one as the... And I don't know. If you watch Missing in Action, it's a really, really great film. If you watch Missing in Action 2, the beginning... It is a travesty, and it is absolutely one of the most garbage Vietnam films I have ever seen, ever. And it undoes everything that was great about Missing in Action. But it's weird in that Golan Globus they had a track record of doing low-budget, exploitative films that were not highbrow. They were fun to watch, and they were essentially content for video rental stores. That's a great way to put it. That was they were the epitome of Amazon Studios and Netflix Studios. They were doing the same thing, but they were doing it for Blockbuster and every other video place across the country. So to see, nothing is new under the sun. It's just the medium has changed, but the goal maintains the same. They want to make sure that you're checking the video store every week to see what new tapes came out, whether it's a big budget film that you missed in the theaters or something you've never heard of that just happens to have really great cover art and a name that you recognize, but is absolutely shit-tastic.
Yeah. And names on a soundtrack that you would recognize.
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ. Sammy Hagar.
This one's a little bit different. Let me stop you before you do that, because Golan Globus decided they wanted to go legit. And they had several very large, big money projects. This was one of them. And they wanted to do a Stallone film because Charles Bronson and Chuck Norris, it had become tired. But Stallone was a star. And that's how he wound up with a $12 million payday, because he made an offer to Golan Globus. It was either Golan or Globus. I don't remember which one. There's two men. There's their last names. But one of them made an offer to Stallone, and he made an offer. It was a ridiculous number, and Stallone said, "I'll do it for 12." And so they wrote him a check for 12. And that's how you get Sylvester Stallone in a movie. And Stallone's a bit of a creative control freak, so I'm sure that's why he helped rewrite chunks of the script. And then they threw money at the soundtrack. Unload.
So this soundtrack is fucking stupid. So here you had this movie advertised, and I remember the promos.
Now is the time to do for yourself. Over the top, Dad! Over the top!
It was Sammy Hagar, over the top. He had this high action song, good
high energy
song.
It's a bop.
And then you see all the action shots are in the trailer, of him arm wrestling and stuff like that. So you think it's a certain type of movie, but then you watch it and it's a drama with soft rock soundtrack. Kenny Loggins, Asia, Eddie Money. Music by Georgia Marauder. This doesn't scream action to me. So it was a huge misstep with this thing. What the fuck were you thinking?
No,
let me finish. Because it's like, so in what world do you have a league of arm wrestling just for truckers?
Well, they
it's
were just
for
truckers.
No, it had to be. Why the fuck are you giving away your truck? What average Joe is going to do something with a giant fucking... It's not a Freightliner. It was a fucking Volvo. But, when you think of trucks, you think of Peterbilt or Freightliner or something like that.
They got to move their arm wrestling table.
So, it's like, who the fuck is this movie for? And then why do you have the evil grandpa in this? If you're going to do a fucking movie that's supposed to be sports action, take the evil grandpa out of it. Get rid of that subplot altogether. You can still have the mom die. That's fine. That all tracks. That works perfectly fine. But then focus on the actual arm wrestling of it. Because there's one match before the tournament? And then
two.
No.
Yes.
I think your breath stinks.
Yes, Stallone
don't
has
count
one.
The kid. The kid don't count.
Well,
the kid don't fucking count.
It's $10.
The kid don't count. Because he won a buck. You want a buck, all right? So no. So that doesn't count. If they would have built up the big bad and then built up him actually arm wrestling through the fucking movie, it would have been a lot better. The whole evil grandpa subplot was just fucking stupid, and it changes the tone of the movie. And then you get rid of that soundtrack, that shitty soundtrack. I get it. Kenny Loggins was huge at the time, but Highway to the Danger Zone is just as every bit as energetic and
high energy,
as fucking, over the top as Sammy Hagar, which, going back to that real quick, was originally sung by the lead singer of Asia. I forgot his name. I'll throw it up here. But they're like, that wasn't mean enough. Well, no fucking shit. This whole movie isn't fucking mean enough. And it should have been rewritten. Stallone should have never got his hands on this fucking thing. I don't know if he introduced the subplot or where it came from.
I'm going to say that the sick wife and then the partner that dies that means something to everybody but different relationships with all of them, those are all Stallone staples. Evil grandpa, family, that's all. And the whole cheering for Lincoln at the end as he's winning his way up the ladder, all that all just reeks of the Stallone stank. It's all shit you've seen. And I'm sure he's selling it to, going and Globus says, well, hey, this is what we did in Rocky. It worked there. Because the only thing I can think of that's more ridiculous than this is when Rocky goes to Russia and he's boxing a Russian in Russia,
cheers for
in
Rocky.
front of Gorbachev,
Yeah.
and because he just won't go down, that the Russians start cheering his name, and
Bullshit.
Rocky is the reason why we have glasnost and peace between the East and the West. Because if he can change, and you can change, everybody can change! So, that being said, that all just stinks of Stallone. Like, hey, let me help you with that page here. I got it, and I'm gonna go ahead and write this one down. And Golan and Globus are all like, hey, he made Rocky. He knows what he's doing.
We paid him $12 million. We're gonna get something for this shit.
Yeah.
I said, are you hawk?
And if you can meet him halfway across the sky, up where the world belongs to only you. Oh my God!
Meet me halfway.
It's like they gave him a copy of the script and said, use this for the lyrics. Hey, Mike, the world don't mean nobody halfway.
So, anyways, if the most memorable thing about your film is Kenny Loggins' fucking bullshit fucking soft rock song, you failed miserably. Because even this is Stallone vehicle. Even if it's a shitty Stallone vehicle, it should be rememberable for being a shitty Stallone vehicle, not for Kenny Loggins. It's like remember fucking Top Gun. What's your takeaway from Top Gun? Oh, that great song by Berlin, "Take My Breath Away." No.
It was Danger Zone.
No.
Actually, it was both of them. Because
It
they
was
were both
both.
on the radio forever.
But still, I mean, yeah. But you remember Top Gun just for that.
Yeah.
You remember Top Gun for Top Gun. And all the latent, homoeroticism that's in it.
Guys are animals.
Kenny Loggins again.
Yeah.
Just playing with
Fire
the boys.
with the boys.
I think people realize how huge Kenny Loggins was back in the day.
No.
It started with... Caddyshack.
Oh shit! It was Caddyshack. Okay.
I'm alright. Don't nobody... You gotta do the go for
Don't
dance, so
nobody
do it.
worry about me.
And then you had Footloose.
Yeah.
And then you had Top Gun.
Danger
and then
Zone.
this. And I think he had something else afterwards.
He
I'm
had
sure
a
did.
bunch. He had a string of them. Not all of them were hits, but they were all solid efforts. And I'm sure if you go back and listed the entire Kenny Loggins discography, it's going to be I know that one, I know that one, I know that one.
The funny thing is like you can name every soundtrack song that Kenny Loggins has done. I can't name any single Kenny Loggins record. Do you know the name of Kenny Loggins record? I don't.
Danger Zone,
I
Caddyshack, the soundtrack,
I can name the movies it's been on, but not a single Kenny Loggins record.
Footloose, the soundtrack. I remember that album. It was a great. That's what I got. If they were ever the best of Kenny Loggins, music from the soundtracks of that was my favorite Kenny Loggins album. Don't look at me like that. You own that shit. It's in your CD collection. Don't act like it ain't.
What's not in your DVD collection, Blu-ray collection though, is this movie. Because this movie sucks. There is nothing redeeming about this movie at all whatsoever. It's just awful from beginning to end. None of the characters are particularly likable or you give two poops about. The big bad is barely in the movie at all.
Robert Loggia has shit to do.
Actually think that you can get away with what you've done.
Evil Grandpa just needs to die and just not be in this movie. It's just no. It's too safe. It's too safe of a movie. They dialed this thing back so bad. They want to be such an action family thing. It's the only thing I can think of. It's like they really wanted to be family, and that's where you went wrong. You should have went for that PG-13, maybe borderline R.
I don't know that
you could go R. You could go R with it because it's about arm wrestling, unless you put like a lot of violence in it. Because there's a disturbingly lack of violence in this movie.
Just gonna say this: is there a strong idea here?
No.
Yes. No. And
No.
I'm gonna tell you.
No,
why, because
go ahead. You're wrong.
Watching professionals of anything, the people that are really truly top tier, you can make an interesting film about that. I mean, shit. Kingpin did it with bowling. Okay, so you could have done it with arm wrestling, and you really could have shown off, like, there's the guys that are just built like tanks. You could have shown the guys that are hitting the gym constantly, that are obsessed with their diet and nutrition and their lifting schedule and all that. You could have gone that route. You could have taken this idea.
You could have, but it didn't have it. So therefore, it does not have a strong idea.
No. The idea is, hey, let's make a movie about some guy who comes out of nowhere to get to the top and become a champion of the World Arm Wrestling League. That's a strong concept. The family drama shit, no, that should have been excised. That needed to go away. And you're absolutely right. First off, we never see what a badass Bull Hurley is until the very last 15, 20 minutes of the film.
No. Yeah.
So there's no establishment as far as that goes. And what's weird is that
we should have seen that guy breaking fucking arms and wrists.
Absolutely.
Oh, we have trouble with our German friend. Looks like trouble and injury over here on table number 2.
Through multiple things, and like this should be some genuine terror from like
And risk of getting injured.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Think of that.
So no, they didn't do that. And the other thing is that they could have followed 3 or 4 arm wrestles on their way to it. You don't necessarily, I mean, I realize it's a Stallone vehicle and naturally Stallone's got to be the guy that wins, but it's not boxing. You don't have like, here's the number 1 ranked contender and the heavyweight. No, it is a free-for-all until you like eliminate down to the, final 8. Why not showcase that? But they tried to turn this into just exactly like they did with Staying Alive. They tried to turn it into a fucking Rocky movie. And that's the whole thing. That's where the family drama comes in, because there's the whole relationship with Talia Shire, Adrian, and Rocky, and how that affects his performance in boxing. Because in Rocky 2, she was pregnant and she had to go to the hospital and he wasn't going to start training until she was okay. So while that all worked in context for Rocky was a likable guy who was an expectant father, In this, Stallone, the only explanation that they have is, you abandoned your daughter and your son. He's mine now. And then Stallone, you tear us apart. Really? Really?
Yeah.
Really? Look, I have had disagreements with family members that are long-standing, and trust me, we don't gloss over it when the sparks fly. We bring up every detail. So, why don't you try actually talking about what the fallout was from that?
Yeah.
But
he had reasons. That was it. So, I mean, what you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
You just have reasons. Like, well, that's not an excuse, and it doesn't make you particularly likable or sympathetic either. You bang your son. I mean, yeah, you wrote him, but you never did you call or do anything else or even drop by or something like that? I mean,
more importantly than that, how does the daughter of a multimillionaire fall in love with a guy that's a fucking over-the-road trucker? What, was she hanging out in a truck stop bathroom and Lincoln Hawk just walked in and while he was flexing his back muscles while taking a piss at the urinal, she was all, oh, he's the one. And Mike was conceived in the handicap stall? I don't know. But, like, literally.
Well, obviously in the sleeper of a truck.
You say that, but Lincoln Hawk likes to be outside that truck on the front grill getting his pump on.
It was on or near the truck. I mean, that's all there is to it.
But there was a lot to, if you could have just explained to us how those two characters met, how they fell in, anything to make it more. But if he had been like a stockbroker or someone who worked for him and had been fired and the only job he could get was over-the-road truck driving, that at least is something. But don't tell me to root for a character just because Sylvester Stallone is the guy fucking playing him. That is some of the laziest phoned-in bullshit. And I fucking hate when movies, oh, well, this is the good guy. It's obviously the good guy is being played by this person. No, they still have to actually put in the work. They have to explain, why am I supposed to give a shit about this character? Stallone doesn't feel that's necessary because he's just such a likable guy. And you remember Rocky, right? All that being said, this movie, from the word go, was designed for marquee value. This was all about the names attached.
Yep.
It's got Stallone. It's got Sammy Hagar. It's got Kenny Loggins. You obviously are going to come and see it. We've been playing the music on Top 40 Radio for 3 weeks to get you all warmed up to come see Over the Top. And this, I love what a spectacular fucking failure this movie was. This right here is proof that it always starts with a good script. If you are trying to find a sport that no one's done a movie about, and hey, let's do that, and we'll just shoehorn all the Rocky tropes into the and blah blah, it'll be a hit. No, it won't. All right, there is craft. It still matters. Funny story.
Okay.
I was reading up about this one. Apparently, Roger Ebert gave this movie a fucking scathing review. So much so that when Sylvester Stallone ran into him, he pinned him up against a slot machine at a casino so that he could have a word with him about just how brutal his review was. So you know what?
So now he's like Stallone makes shitty movies. He's also a whiny bitch.
Maybe he confused him with Bull Hurley. But there was a way to make this, and I'm not a sports fan, but I love sports movies. And that's the irony of this, is that you can do it to where even someone like me, that I don't give two shits who's in the playoffs or what sport or blah, 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 blah. But if you make your characters interesting, and there is obviously tension and drama in any professional sport, that even someone like me will sit down and watch it. And this had potential to be something, but it was so lazy and phoned in, and just, it was taken for granted that a Stallone film would be a hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry, you got what you deserved on this one. I wish that studios would learn the lesson that just because you slap Marvel or, Stallone or Schwarzenegger on a movie, it's not a guarantee. Yeah. If your movie sucks, it sucks. You can maybe try to break even by just advertising the shit out of it, but once it comes out, you're never getting anything back out of it. Whereas, alternatively, you can cut the budget, you can get a good script, you might have a sleeper hit when it's in the theaters, but that film is going to live on video and everything
Streaming.
else, and your long-term projection on that quality film that didn't get seen by a lot of people is far greater than your return is going to be on Blu-ray sales of Over the Top.
Yeah. Yeah, we really need a return to form for the mid-budget film. Not everything needs to be a tentpole. Not everything needs to have,
$250 million budget.
Right, and half of that going to special effects, and then having to double that, budget just to advertise the thing. A quality script goes a long way. I mean, it doesn't have to be like the greatest thing in the world, just competent.
Yeah.
Jinx. Yeah, I mean, it starts at the foundation. It starts at the very beginning. It starts on the paper.
Yeah.
It starts on the fucking page, long before it even hits the screen.
And
I mean, because even if the production sucks, if the story's good, it's still watchable.
Yeah, exactly. And while a midline script can be elevated by a great performance, it's still elevated by the performance. Again, I put no value in marquee value. I don't give a shit who's in the movie. You want to know who I'm interested in, who wrote it, and who directed it.
Yeah.
And that's true for my particular taste in movies.
Or who's producing it. If it's got bad robot attached to it, don't watch it.
I'm
don't
good.
watch
Alex Kurtzman, no thank you.
No, hell no.
J.J. Abrams,
not touching
nope.
it.
I'm good.
Yeah. Even like the Blumhouse stuff, which I know is a thing for you.
Yeah.
And like A24.
A24.
Yeah. It's 50-50 for me. But at least it's 50-50 for me. You know, I could roll the dice on it, and maybe I get something good, maybe I won't. Whereas if it's bad robot, I know it's
going to be lazy. It's going to be fan servicey.
Yeah.
It's going to be, hey, look, we get it. See, we referenced all this stuff that you know, fans, right?
Yeah.
And I fucking hate that.
And this newest phase of Marvel is just garbage. It's hot garbage. There's no anything. Like there's nothing for the source material. But although then again, now Marvel's source material is garbage too. It really is. So unfortunately, I don't really have much of a leg to stand on. So I don't know. Marvel, you need to like up your game in both the comics and your films. They're getting really bad. Really bad.
I say I was never a Marvel fan film because they always struck me as safe bets down the line.
Yeah. But at least they're fun and entertaining safe bets. I never... Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I should say never. Like, the majority of their films were at the very least entertaining. The Thor movies sucked, except for Ragnarok. I enjoyed Ragnarok. But the rest, I didn't stand. So there's plenty of Marvel movies that are kind of like, But on a whole, at least they were fun and entertaining. Like, even the last Spider-Man was very fun and entertaining.
I've seen maybe 10 of them. And to be honest, it's just, I am a DC fanboy. I own that. I'm not much of a Marvel fan, and again, just knowing that Disney's behind the whole thing is like, oh, well, we got to play it safe, and we got to make sure that the whole family can enjoy the film.
And that's the problem
Where
now.
DC is all like, R, fuck it, let's go with that. They do animated films that are hard R, and not like oh, they dropped an F-bomb, like oh, they just showed somebody get slashed to pieces. So I have respect for that. You want to know what superhero movie I'm looking forward to the most? The animated Warner Brothers animated Green Lantern: Beware My Power. That is coming up in July. It's dropping straight to Blu-ray with a whole magical budget of probably $5 million. But the trailer looked fucking amazing, and I was super excited when I watched it, more so than anything else that I have seen on trailer this year that's superhero related.
But bouncing back to what you said, you make a great point. Anything that's got Disney attached on it, if it's supposed to be kind of geared towards adults, it's not.
They try to sell it, yeah. They try to sell it like they're edgy, like, oh, it's Moon Knight. It's like, I've read the Moon Knight source material, all right? It's bad. And I have read all 3 incarnations of the Moon Knight source material because no, not that one, read the next one. So I did, and it's still bad.
Well, I mean, even the Marvel portion of that aside, it's just the fact that it's Disney, so it's got to do a certain formula, and it's got to hit a certain demographic. It doesn't have a certain demographic. It tries to hit like every demographic.
Yes.
And that's the failing. You can't, by trying to appease everybody, you're going to appease nobody.
I can't wait to see them destroy Blade. Because you can't do a vampire hunting movie and make it PG-13. So, but they're going to try. Yeah, Blade will always live on. But this was a spectacular failure for Golden Globus. And then they followed it up with Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Another hot garbage take.
I don't know which one I'd rather watch.
3 is bad, but 4 is hilariously bad.
This or Superman 4. Over the Top or Superman 4.
Oh, Superman
I don't know
4.
which one's worse. Yeah, you're probably right.
Muriel Hemingway is really hot in that movie.
Yeah,
I don't know how she managed.
No, you're right. Yeah. I'd rather watch this than Superman 4, but that's not saying a lot at all.
I don't know
that's
how
not saying anything.
She can breathe in space too, which means she can hold her breath for a really long time. But
anyway,
and the Golden Globus they should have stayed in their line. They were great at what they did. They're exploitation films. I have a lot of fun with. I've watched a ton of them, and I'll watch a ton more of them. This, when they actually tried to get serious and step up and be a real movie studio, they obviously didn't get what made them famous, and they tried to translate it to big budget at the time kind of movies. And your VHS market is not your theater market, and that was true then and still true now.
Today, yeah.
So anything else about Over the Top?
No, absolutely not. No, I'm done talking about this movie.
And Mr. Cutler is talking to you.
I'm through talking.
It wasn't really well, okay. I've watched this movie multiple times because it's fucking awful, but I find it hilariously bad.
I don't even find it funny bad. It's just awful. But no, I'm done talking about this.
Okay, so what are we watching next?
So next we are bringing up the red diapered, aging out. But still looking surprisingly decent. Sean Connery vehicle. Who did this one?
John Boorman.
That's right. Who also did
Excalibur.
Thank you.
And Deliverance.
Deliverance and a bunch of the movies that we talked about during the Excalibur thing. Ding. We are doing Zardoz.
I'm excited because I've seen this movie several times. I don't know if you have or not.
I've seen it all the way through once.
But and there's a lot to unpack on this
one. There's a lot going on in this movie. It is a psychedelic trip. It is jacked up in so many ways. And we will talk about all of those on the next one.
flip my hat around. It's like turning on a switch, you know, like a machine, like a truck.
You're making me watch this.